to invite the Principal Secretary for Immigration and Citizen Services, Professor Julius Bitok, to introduce a brief history of Eldoret through a cultural skit. Welcome, Balozi.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency, First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, our Governor for Uasin Gishu, Governor Jonathan B., distinguished guests, all protocol observed, praise the Lord. Allow me, Excellency, to take you through a brief journey through the rich history of Eldoret, showcasing its transformation from a first savanna grassland to its current status as a thriving cosmopolitan city. Eldoret history begins with the legendary figures of two brothers, Arab Marigi from the Nandi and Arab Kimuron from the Keyo, who established a special meeting point, a special altar called Kapkiai along the Soshani River in the 18th century, and later known as Eldoret by the Maasais, meaning a safe place, or rather a place of safety, dated 1870. The town's early years were marked by the arrival of the brutal Boer settlers and British colonizers from South Africa, who shaped its development amidst conflict and change. In 1912, Your Excellency, Eldoret was officially gazetted as a municipality, bringing formal governance to this area. The name Sisibo, derived from the local dialect, became synonymous with a vibrant community that emerged. Sisibo was coined locally from the farm number 64, which was 64 miles from the then only Londiani railway station. The construction of Kotap site in 1959, which now houses the governor's office, marked a significant milestone in Eldoret's urbanization. Notably, every household living in Wareng then were forced to contribute a cow each for the construction of court outside. Your Excellency, in conclusion, today, Eldoret stands proud as a cosmopolitan city of champions, representing resilience and growth. It is my pleasure, Excellency, to introduce an extraordinary team of hustlers, of talented young Kenyans, who will bring this incredible history to life. Excellency, sir, ladies and gentlemen, join me in putting our hands together to invite this dramatic story of Eldoret City dating between 1870 and 2024. Thank you very much and welcome, team.
At the heart of a vast savanna, where the landscape stretches beneath a beautiful sky, a peaceful coexistence exists. A meandering Sosiani River slices through its terrain, its crystal clear water, a testament of beauty and nature. Along the riverbanks, the crane birds glide effortlessly. Nearby, a herd of antelopes are grazing contentedly. The giraffes are stretching their necks in order to reach the highest branches. And below the trees, the leopards are moving keenly, scanning the environment for opportunity and safety. In the distance, the roaring lion rests in the shade. What a balance of nature. All these nondescript features are landmarks of the ill Uasin Gishu, as it will come to be known as Uasin Gishu years later. Here, the Sirikwa, like Kipiak and Naivasha people thrived, tending to their cattle and living harmoniously with the land. 1800 was the year. The Maasai started to move in. They intended to use this land as their grazing field. But this led to a very fierce battle between the Maasai and the Nandi. Blood was shed, lives were lost, people were displaced. But eventually, the Nandi emerged victorious, pushing the Maasai all the way down to Transmara. Then in came the British, following the land regulation of 1899, which allowed the white settlers to exploit the indigenous people fertile land. But of course, the Nandi were not going to take this sitting down.
Baba. Anyone baba.
Hawa watu wamekuja wanataka kuchukua vitu yetu.
Hawa sungu.
Brotich, nataka ukae jasiri Brotich.
Sawa baba.
Chunga vitu yetu Brotich, sawa?
Sawa baba.
Na wamekuja na silaha kubwa kubwa. Sasa unachunga kabisa Brotich, sawa?
Sawa baba.
Haya.
Lakini baba, mimi nasikia watu wanakuja na silaha kubwa kubwa baba. Sasa baba, na hii silaha yangu dogo tafanyaje baba? Hebu niambie tajiandaa aje baba?
Brotich, endeleta wanawake. Ngoja Brotich. Endeleta watoto. Brotich, ngoja.
Baba,
fanya hivi, peleka watu mahali mzuri, mahali watakaa vizuri. Sawa?
Mama na watoto baba? Na mimi baba?
Wewe ni mwanamke?
Hapana baba.
Basi, wewe ni mtoto?
Hapana baba.
Haya, sasa wewe ni mwanaume.
Sawa baba.
Imrni Brotich, sawa? Unarudi hapa tunaenda pamoja. Sawa Brotich? Haya, harakisha Brotich, haraka.
This will later on lead to a fully blooded war between the British and the Nandi, which lasted for a period of 10 years. But the British subdued the Nandi, pushing them down to the Nandi reserves. Then in came the Boers. They arrived at our coastal shores, got onto trains, and down the railway line they drove up to Londiani. Using wagon wheels, they drove down the savannah. It is said that one of their wagon wheels got stuck in the mud and dropped one of their safe containing many of their valuables. Silver, gold, coins, them. It was difficult to put it back. So they had to construct a simple matope structure around it to act as a bank, which was later named in 1912 the Standard Bank of South Africa Limited, with its first manager, J.M. Shaw. The arrival of the Boers was met by conflict and tension by the indigenous people. But due to their advanced weaponry and determined mindset, the Boers displaced many local communities. And they settled in rather quick. They established their farm right here at the Uasin Gishu Plateau, and they designated it a simple numerical label, Farm 64, since it was 64 miles from Londiani where there was a railway headquarters. But now here comes the twist. The pronunciation of the word 64 was an uphill task to the locals.
Ngoja kidogo. We ile pam ne?
Farm 64.
Pam
64. 64.
Oh, sisibo?
64.
Gongoi sisibo.
So to them it ended up being Palm 64. So stay with us as we journey through time, witnessing the triumphs and struggles of those who once called this land home. In 1910, a Boer by the name Willie Van Aert established the first post office, since he could not make a living out of the farm, and thus the township started. He started receiving applications for business plots on the farm, and it had to be given a name. The locals were summoned by the governor, Sir P.C. Giroud, in order to give it a name. It was problematic to get one. There were many suggestions. Giroud Forte, in honor of the first governor. Yes, we name it Sirikwa. Yes, those were the first inhabitants of this land. Oh, so we name it after them. Wow, that's a good one. Yes, Masai, unasema aje? Tuite Entore, meaning the Stony River. Oh, well, that's creative. Yes. We name it Bado Kidogo. Why should we name it Bado Kidogo? Oh, like you need more time in order to get a long-lasting name. Oh, that's quite a suggestion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Masai Gazette notice, January 1st, 1912. The administrative station on the Wasingishu Plateau, formerly known Farm 16 session began. Tela A.N. Olo to the last black mayor, W.K. Rono.
Ngoja kidogo. Nataka uende mbele mpaka mahali pristine ako. Hapo mbele, pristine. Hapo mahali pristine anahe.
And well, if you thought the story about Eldoret was done, then think again. In 1966, just 3 years after independence, nature gave us a bouncing baby boy. Fast forward, he became a CU leader at a school right here in Eldoret. Nundoroto School, which is the current day Wareng High School. Proceeded to Kapsabet boys for his A levels. Then became a youth leader in 1992. Then the member of parliament Eldoret North. Then to a minister. Then to a deputy president. And now to the president of the republic. And today, in accordance with the 2010 constitution, Eldoret has just received a charter as the 5th city of Kenya by the 5th president of Kenya, His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the city
of champions.
Hebu tuwapigie makofi tafadhali tena. Wonderful skit right there, giving us the history of Eldoret City. Your Excellency.